I have a good one for you. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about emotions and how you have to control your emotions if you're going to manage your way through life and also in business, because we talk about business. But real quick, look at that. I got my parking lot redone here at my office building. I bought this bank. This is my bank building here. You can see right there. Got that redone. All of a sudden, the kids are trying to skateboard on here. Got the no skateboarding sign. Also, my children, not my children, my grandchildren, they like to come. The machines that take the money up to the where the tellers used to be, I had them keep that in there. Well, they didn't even want to touch anything. They just left it in there, and so it does still work. When I come through, I don't know if it's just because, the wind is blowing, but sometimes there's trash here. So in the morning, I'll go around picking up some of the trash that's out there. But this is a huge parking lot. It's a huge parking lot. And the company, if you're in Milwaukee, I'll give you if you ever want the name of the company that did that took care of the driveway. They did a very good job. Did it all in one day. No playing around. Lines, markings, everything. I had to get it done at my other building too, but this one is a lot bigger with the driveway. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how your emotions will affect you on being able to move forward in your life, in your business. And if you don't get a hold of them, it's going to potentially lead you towards destruction. That a lot of people have destroyed their lives over the way that they reacted to certain things that people were either saying to them or doing to them. And if you look back at your life and look at the things that you got mad about, you will probably say that it was not as bad as you thought it was, but you had an emotional reaction and it made it worse. And then, later, things cool down. Well, I'm going to give you something that you will be able to do, and it's going to have to take some practice. But here's the crazy thing about it is that you already do it. You already do what I'm going to teach you. You're just not aware of it anymore. It's something that when we were children, we were learning how the process works. That's why you can have some people who can control themselves in certain situations, some people who can't. So some of us learned, some of us didn't. And what I've become aware of is how to teach this to people, because some, even family members would say to me, "You're calm, cool, collective. Like, why can you think before you react?" And so I'm gonna show you, number one. I'm not even gonna spoil it. I don't want to spoil it right now. So make sure you tune into the. Okay, so here's the deal. The problem is that a lot of times we can get emotionally upset about something, or we could even be emotionally happy about something. The emotion is technically the same feeling inside of the body. It just has something different added to it. And that's really, the process is the same. The process to build the emotion is the same. And if you watch my video earlier in the week on fake stories, the same thing happens when it comes with emotion. There's a lot of times where people get emotional about something, and then if you look at it, you're like, well, all of that didn't happen. Like sometimes people can get upset and they're talking to you and they're saying stuff and they keep adding things to it, because for them to stay in that emotional state of mind, they have to get their body a certain way. Maybe they have to cry, and they keep adding to it. Like they keep building to the story, because it's actually a state of mind and a state of the body. And the same thing can happen when, something good happens? What do we do when something good happens? I'm a football fan. We'll throw our hands up in the air, clapping. We'll be like, yo, you see that player with a touchdown? We build to it. And some of the times I'll even admit it for myself. Like a certain play happened and I would be thinking that the player did even more than what, when they reran the replay video, it was like, well, he didn't do all of that, but it was a good play. So the point of it, what I'm trying to get across to you is that we build these stories within us, and it starts with the body. Now, what I want you to do, and I make these videos for you and everybody else to help you get concrete solutions, concrete answers to the way that, number one, we react to the reason why we react the way that we react to certain things that come into our lives, and it will help you be able to build your business. It'll help you to be able to grow as a person. It will give you concrete solutions on why you do things, because some of the times we always try to wonder why someone else does stuff. So I'm going to tell you right now, get away from doing that. You're just wasting your brain energy. But you need to understand why you are doing things, because you could be reacting to certain things that are said to you, that are done to you, or just certain things that you say to yourself, building up those fake stories. And you're like wondering, why do you keep self-sabotaging yourself? I know that you want to improve your life. You want to have a better lifestyle. You want better things for yourself and your family. This is how you can start those tiny baby steps to be able to get you to where you want to be. And also, I want to throw this in. You don't have to believe me on anything that I'm teaching you, anything that I'm sharing with you. All you have to do is just test it. Test it and just see what results you get. So let's first start with this. What I want you to do is I want you to think of something bad that has happened to you. I want you to think about it. Just think about that bad thing. It's somewhere there. And while you're thinking about that bad thing, I want you to also, and close your eyes if you have to do this. Go ahead and close your eyes. Close your eyes right now for me. And I want you to stand up. I need you to stand up because I want you to have full senses of, like, it's like an alert. When you stand up, it's like your subconscious mind says, okay, we got to do something. And your conscious mind, I'm about to be demanded to do something. I'm about to be asked to do something. Get it attention. That's why they call it attention. So stand up, close your eyes, and I want you to think about that bad thing. And then I want you to try to find where it is. It might be to the left of you. It might be to the right of you. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. You know where that's at. Now, think about it this way. I want you to keep your eyes closed. Imagine looking at a computer screen. You're looking at that computer screen, and it has these icons on there. The human body is just like that. It's like an icon. There's an icon over there for that bad thing that happened. And part of inside of that icon, when you click that bad thing that happened, it opens up. So just imagine keep your eyes closed now. And now wherever that bad thing is, it's somewhere on your screen. It's somewhere on your screen, not your computer screen, your human virtual screen. It's somewhere there. It might be to the left. It might be to the right. It might be a yellow folder. It might be whatever it is. It might be some like a stick or something. Whatever it is, whatever that icon is to you, I want you to push that icon. Imagine like you're clicking it with a mouse, but you're clicking it with your finger, and it's going to open up. And you're going to start to experience what that was. Whatever that experience was that was bad, you might start sweating right now. You might get emotional. You might feel like you need to go ahead and close that back up. Whatever that is. But I just need you to know, number one, that emotion is something that's on your screen. Because this is the first part of the lesson. That emotion is something that is right there on your screen, and you can unclick it and it can go and size back down. So right now, I want you to keep it big, and I want you to use your hands, and I want you to open it up wide. When you open it up wide, like you're expanding that bad emotion, that bad experience, you might feel a certain way, but then what I want you to do is I want you to shrink it down. And I want you to notice how your body feels when you shrink that down. Shrink it all the way down. Shrink it all the way down. Now what I want you to do is I want you to put that bad experience, that bad emotion, I want you to put it right back where you had saw it. Put it right back there. I want you to imagine that you see it going right back there, just like a file folder that you click that box in the top right corner of your computer and it closes it out, but it's still there. Let that sit there. Now what I want you to do is I want you to open your eyes. Now you probably still had the remnants of that feeling. It's back to where it was before we started doing this exercise. Now what I want you to do is I want you to look around the room. Just look around the room. Right now I want you to look around the room. Now we've all done this before, where when you close your eyes and you can still see some of the things in the room. Like it starts to dim down, but it's like an outline. So open your eyes again if you closed them. Open them. Look at something in the room. Just pick one of the things, but you can also, I want you to kind of scan the room so you know that you're in a room and that it's all around you. Like your awareness is full of all the objects in the room. You don't have to remember all the objects. I don't need you to do that. Then I want you to look at one of the objects in the room. Then I want you to close your eyes and I want you to see that object with your eyes closed. It might be an outline. You might see the color, whatever it is. You just know that you're still in that room. When you get that, just, do that right now. You see that object. You see that you're in the room. Maybe you can even move your head around and maybe you can still, some of the things that you remember in the room, you can still kind of see them, or the outline, or you just know that they're there. You also know that you're in the room also. Now, I want to ask you a quick question. Keep your eyes closed. I want to ask you a quick question. Could you think about, right now, the icon and the emotions that had you upset? Could you think about that? So open your eyes right now. If you're, and I want you to be honest, that you could not do both of those at the same time. You cannot do both of those at the same time. You're either going to be thinking about what I told you to think about, looking at the room, becoming aware of the room, or you were going to be in that emotional state where you opened up and you re-experienced that bad emotion that you had. This is a technique that I utilize and that I'm also I'm becoming more aware of it. It's something that we were born with, but we stopped utilizing it as we went through our lives and we started getting things from either our parents or people that we came in contact with. Some people are more emotional, some people are less emotional, some people are very reactive, some people are less reactive. The lesson of this whole exercise is that we are in 100% control of our emotions if we understand how our emotions are built. Just like I just had you find that bad experience, open it up, feel that emotion inside of you, and then expand it to make it even more intense, and then closed it back down, and then put it off to the side. Like some of you may be even shocked that you were even able to do that. Maybe that emotion that you brought up, you never thought that you could control that emotion. In a later video, I'm going to show you how you can actually put that emotion behind you, but some of you may not be ready to do that right now. But right now, you can put that emotion back on that screen, that virtual screen that you have, wherever it goes. There's no right or wrong place for it to go. The lesson is that you control how much intensity you put towards it. You control, number one, what stories you build with it. And then number three, going over to the side over here. I just did it over to the side. That's where it is for me. To my left side is where I naturally store a lot of good stuff. I've noticed that when I talk. I noticed that when I look at myself on the videos, that I'll look to the left for good things and I'll look to the right when I'm trying to really dig deep to get someone to understand something, or even for myself when I'm trying to learn something. So I showed you how you can, and all you have to do is, if you're feeling emotional, if you're feeling a certain way, some people might say it's meditation. I just say I'm giving you a way that you can focus on something and allow that emotional state to drain out, because there is no fighting of an emotional state. Don't try to fight it. If you try to fight it, it's going to just eat you up on the inside. You need to release it. Release that emotional state. Let it flow through you, because you understand with your body, and this is where it starts first. A lot of people think it starts with the mind. No, it's going to start with the body. All of the icons and all of the pieces that are out there for you on your virtual screen, that is parts of our body. It's out here, but when you click it, just like I said, you click that bad emotion, where did you start to feel it? You felt it in the body first. You memorized it in your mind, and you probably even added some stuff to that story that didn't happen, because you got to keep that bad story bad. You got to, if you hear the story, have you ever heard this before? You hear a story one time, you hear it another time, it lessens. And so what we tend to do is make the story worse. So let me give you an example. Say I'll give you an example that happened to me when I was a kid. I used to ride my bicycle up like trying to be Evel Knievel. If some of you might be too young to know about Evel Knievel, look it up. I'm pretty sure they got stuff on him on YouTube. I used to ride my bicycle crazy up with me and my cousins. We would put ramps, like a crate, and then a board for the ramp. And I was the one that was just crazy. I was jumping over my cousins. They were laying on the ground. I'm jumping over them with a bicycle. I'm jumping over other bicycles. I'm jumping over boxes, anything that we could. And then one of the times, I put that bicycle way back and ran up that ramp, jumped up, and the bicycle came from under me, and I landed on the ground, hit my tailbone, and I couldn't breathe. So now I just told you that story. How much of that, this is me thinking about a story back when I was a kid. I was probably about 10 years old when that happened. So I've noticed that when I've told that story, that I have to bag way up to make it even more impressive. Actually, what happened, now, the story is true, but actually what happened is I just, not way back, I just rode the bicycle up the ramp. I was going fast, but I wasn't way 2-3 blocks down the street speeding up. I was just a good distance, ran up the ramp. The bike came from under me, and I slammed on my tailbone, and I remember my cousin Reggie coming up behind me, giving me the Heimlich. And I'm like, I'm not choking on nothing. I just can't breathe because I knocked the wind out of me from my tailbone. But he was trying to help me and do what he could do. So I thank him for that. So we have to keep the pain, to be able to keep something that is painful. It's the story, the next time we tell it, is going to have less impact. So what we do is we build on the story to keep it. And the lesson is with that is that you can actually keep that story as it is. Don't add to it, and understand that you control it. You control it, because we start to think that the stories control us. So you'd be like, well, I don't want to do that because this bad thing happened to me in the past, and because people treat me this way, and because people say this about me, because people laugh at me, because people say I'm ugly, people say that I'm just a dumb whatever, That's the story, and that's what we will use to be able to continue staying in that state. That state is the state that we put our body in. So you could be two different people in front of you could be two different people, or you could be different in front of, not just two. We are all, I'm not going to say can be, we are all different with people that we come in contact with. We're never absolutely the same person with people who we come in contact with. We're one way with our family, one way with our business associates, one way with our customers, one way with people we meet off the street, one way with our banker, our teller, the cashier. We're a different person. You don't really realize it. You don't really realize it. So another part of this homework that I want you to do is I want you to go out there and I want you to notice how you are with everybody. Because when you start to understand that, you will know that we are really just like, it's just like a screen. Like people, like if you can imagine, here we are. Here's the screen is actually, if you can imagine all of these icons. The reason why I say icons is this is an easy way for you to understand it. And so when we come in contact with someone, we might go ahead and pick this icon. And remember on one of the videos that I told you about, I can't remember the name of it, but I think I talked about it a little bit in the false stories that we build. No, it was the one about putting people into a box. Like, why do people ask you questions? So the same thing, when you come in contact with people and you ask them a question, or you just see someone, you're seeing them because you got to put them into a box. You can't even do anything. Like you can't do nothing when you don't know something about somebody, or when you don't know something about somebody, you're going to have to put them in a box. And even when you ask something and they tell you something about themselves, you got to put them in a box or you can't even do anything. But when you put them in a box, you're building the story. You're like, okay, you come in contact with me, shake my hand. And I say, well, I'm a businessman. I started my first company when I was 20 years old. And I built that company to a multi-million-dollar company. But before I told you that, before I said that to you, what would you think of me? And why would you think that way of me? Because you're going to your icons and all of your stories, you're picking some stuff from this icon, you're picking some stuff from this one. They're all going here. And this is like, it's billions of data points. So you see me, you ask me a question. There's some stories you'll be like, oh, well, he said that, this doesn't apply to him. He said that, this doesn't apply to him. He said that, this applies to him, this applies to him, this applies to him. Like the whole thing just starts to get rearranged because you had the conversation with a person. I talked about when I was younger, I was I think I was 15 years old. And I came in, I'm not going to give the full background on it because there's some friends, very close friends that were, I don't want to kind of reveal who they are with this, but my friend's mother was married, he was married to a guy that was in the mafia. Like, this is a real story. I've told this story before to my family, and I told this story not because he was in the mafia, not that's like the big, the movie side of the story, I guess. I tell the story because the guy was very racist. This guy was prejudiced. And I didn't know it at that time, but now I understand his thought process. Because this guy would let me ride in his Rolls Royce with me and his stepchildren. I'm not going to say if they were boy or girl, but he would let us ride in his Rolls Royce. He would limousine, like do all types of stuff. And I was there. This is a racist guy, this black kid do this stuff. Like, never had no trouble dealing with him. And it was because of this. Because when a person gets to know somebody, they start to cross out those preconceived notions that they were told about that individual. Now, the person can fight it. I'm not saying that. But that hurts the person on the inside. They don't even know it. They're actually have you ever heard where a person had so much anger built up inside of them and it ended up killing them, ended up making them get sick, cancer, and all of these types of illnesses? That's where that comes from. Because we have a natural, it's just natural for us to, number one, want to learn about people. And it's not natural to not want to learn about people. If you don't want to learn about other people, you will start to see in your dark nights when you're laying in the bed, you will have issues with yourself, because really every person that you come in contact with is some aspect of you. And this was crazy when and this is something that I learned from my mentor, Reverend Knight. So watch his videos too, is that every person that you come in contact with, good or bad, is some aspect of you. And so you have to treat that person with respect and be given to that person if you're able to. But even given to someone is not like with money, or not even always with time. It's about just acknowledgement to a person. When you acknowledge and you see that person, this is what you got to do. Is even if you can't, depending on the situation, you can't just go running up on people. And if people come up on you, you got to be very careful. I know the times that we live in, and it's been that way forever. It just seems like it's more intensified because we got video cameras and we get to see all of this stuff. But what you have to do is you have to see that person see the good in that person, number one, and see them in, like if it's a person who is a bum on the street, you see that person cleaning themselves up. Remember, it's a story. That person is running that story right now. And we are all connected in some way. That's why you listen to my video and you can be like, well, man, I have a good feeling about Steve. In the back of my mind, I think that Steve is really trying to help me. Like in the back of my mind, listen, you said that before. In the back of my mind, I don't feel good about that person, or I feel good about that person. I believe that person. I don't believe that person. The same process needs to be utilized when you come into contact with people regardless. You just think the best of them because you control what you think. See, we think that if we're going to think bad of somebody, we're going to be like, well, you ain't nothing but a piece of you know what, this and that. Remember, everybody you come in contact with is an aspect of us. So you listening to me on this video is me talking in a sense to myself of what I would want to say to myself, to help myself. And so I'm going to give it my all because you are an aspect of me. I'm an aspect of you. You wouldn't even be here watching this video if that wasn't true. So moving forward, let's just do a quick review. We got the bad, you can pick the icon, close your eyes, find where that bad feeling is. If you want to practice this again, rewind the video and practice it again. Find that bad feeling. Click it like it's like you. So I want to let you have full control. Click it. Pretend like you're clicking it. Open it up. Experience it. See how it feels in your body. All of that stuff. Shrink it down and see how it feels when you shrunk it down. Put it back. See how it feels when you put it back. You close out like you do an icon. You close out that computer program. And then you look at the room, scan the room, find something that you can focus on, close your eyes, and you see that outline, or maybe you can see it fully, you can see the colors, whatever it is. But what you will sense right away is that you cannot sense the room feeling and what you're doing, what I instructed you to do, and that bad feeling. You cannot experience them both at the same time. And when you pick that bad feeling, you probably started adding to that story so you can continue having that bad feeling have the same effects that it's always had on you throughout your life. So I invite your comments for this video. Please subscribe to my channel. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube.